A shalom to the hopeful elect. First and foremost, I'd like to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rachakudash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders at Great Millstone who teach the truth and rule well. This is the brother Yatab Yawa'ala coming back from the GMS SF Bay Area camp. And I got a quick lesson today. All right, Lord's will is edifying. I'm just going into another reason why the Lord is going to destroy this place. All right, especially over here in California, in the Bay Area. They're getting ready. This is what's called the month of Pride, June. All right, you see, they're gearing up for their marches or their festivals that they usually put on at the end of the month. All right, which is it's abominable. It's sodomy. All right, and they're prideful about it. Okay, again, this is another reason why the Lord's gonna destroy this place, because hey, these people aren't right. Here it is. There's a symbol. The rainbow that's set up as a beautiful promise from the Lord that He wouldn't flood the earth again, and then you have these wicked sodomites, all right, perverting that symbol and making it a banner for pride and sodomy. All right. So what do you think the Lord's gonna do? You think the Lord's happy with that? Okay, but again, especially over here in California, you see it everywhere. It's on all the schools. It's on so-called churches. You go to these big cities, they got, just like the American flag, on the streets, they have a pride flag. All right. But let me start with this. Isaiah 3:9. It says, "The show of their countenance doth witness against them, and they declare their sin as Sodom." All right. Now, if you're familiar with the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, all right, the Lord destroyed those places because they were into this. This is one of the many wicked things that they were doing. They were practicing sodomy. All right. When the angels came to Lot, they wanted to sleep with the angels. All right. They wanted to rape the angels. And that's sodomy. That's that's Mo mentality. Yeah, I got to keep it PG. But this is what they were into, and that was an example. All right, the Lord showed, because what happened? He destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah and those surrounding cities and saved Lot and his daughters. All right, but here it is. In this day and age, you got these people, declaring their sin as Sodom. All right, now, this is twofold. This is really talking about Jake, all right, what they were doing, practicing sodomy, ultimately always going into wickedness. All right, that's the story of Jake, and then being prideful about it. But how much more does it apply for these people here today? All right, this is what we're seeing. It says they're declaring their sin as Sodom, and they hide it not. So not only are they hiding, they used to have this term back in the day, being in the closet, hiding their wickedness. But now you just see just nothing but pride, nothing but pushing that. It's in every movie now. It's in, wherever you go, there's people, at the store, just dressed in confusion, and they hide it not. They're open about it. It says, "Woe unto their soul, for they're rewarded evil unto themselves." And ultimately, evil going into bad times. These bad times are coming. All right, the Lord is getting ready to judge this place, and these people in that pride mentality, they're gonna go down with this place. All right, the Lord's not happy with this shit. You got brothers, got kids. It's you try and shield them from all this wickedness, but it's everywhere. That's why this place got to go. All right, this is 2 Peter 2, and let me start from verse 6. It says, "And turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, or rain down that fire and brimstone, condemn them with an overthrow, making them an example unto those that should after should live ungodly." So the Lord, we have the stories, all right, that are for our profit, right? What does it say? Everything that is written for our learning, all right? That we should profit by doctrine, reprove wisdom. There's wisdom in the scriptures. There's stories in the scriptures. There's themes in the scriptures that the Lord is showing us to learn from, all right? High level wisdom. Now, the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, that's in there to be an example to what the Lord does to whole cities that are into wickedness. All right. What did it say? It said he turned it into ashes. He rained down fire and brimstone, utterly destroyed those places. It says, condemn them with an overthrow, making them an example unto those that should live ungodly. All right? So this is what you're seeing. So let me read that again. It says, 2 Peter 2 and 6, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemn them with an overthrow, making them an example unto those that should after live ungodly. All right? And again, this is what we're seeing. All right? We're seeing these people, all right, doing the same wickedness and having pride about it, but thinking that nothing's going to happen. All right? But the Lord showed us, and he's showing us, all right, what he's going to do to people that should live like this. All right? It says, and deliver just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. All right? And again, just like Lot, we're in the same vexed mentality. All right? Because we got to see these things. You know, your families, you got to go through this shit. All right? You got to tell them, you know, that's bugged out. That's evil. That's wicked. That's confusion. These things shouldn't even be, you know, out there like that. But see, in a wicked society, in a place ran by Esau the Edomite, this is okay. All right, you have literally pride parades. It's crazy. Okay, but hey, this is the society of the wicked. This is the kingdom of the wicked. All right, it says, for that righteous man dwelling among them, in seeing and hearing, vexed his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. All right, and this is again. You know, we're vexed day to day with this wickedness. Okay? Now let me jump over here. This is Sirach chapter 10 and verse 7. All right? It says, pride is hateful before the Most High. All right? Pride is hateful. And you literally have you know, they call it LGBTQ pride. It's a pride parade. It's Pride Month. Okay? But the Lord isn't with pride. Again, you're not supposed to be in that mentality, you know, to accepting that demon that's upon you and just feeding it. All right? You're supposed to rebuke these demons. You know, supposed to pray to the Lord to get that demon off you. All right? And understand that that's wicked. But again, in a society that's ran by the wicked, this is okay. This is actually right. All right? It's what do they call it? It's celebrated. All right? It says, pride is hateful before the Most High in man, and by both doth one commit iniquity. All right, that's sin upon sin. Now you have the pride of being a sodomite. What are you gonna do? You know, if you are told that that's a good thing to do, you're gonna keep committing that nasty act, and it's gonna what? It's gonna be committed. It's gonna be iniquity upon iniquity, which is sin upon sin. You're gonna be adding sin upon sin. All right. Proverbs 16 and 18, and it says, pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. And see, this place is at its utmost proud. All right, you got this month of pride. You got a proud president talking all that shit. All right, you got all these people into their pride. Nobody, listening to truth, and specifically our people, because that's all that matters. All right, the majority of our people not listening to truth. They have the pride of this life. All right, and what comes with the pride of this life? Hey, wickedness. All right, iniquity, confusion. All right, but what does it say? Pride goeth before destruction, and this is what we're seeing, and this is how we know the destruction is near, and a haughty spirit before a fall. All right, now let me jump real quick, Malachi 4:1, because hey, this is what the Lord is gonna do. Okay. Just like Sodom and Gomorrah. Malachi 4:1, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly, all right, shall be stubble. Again, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, which is talking about the second death, okay, which is what? Thermonuclear fire. All right? And all the proud, hey, we're seeing the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. So if you're into these things, you're proud about it, all right? You're not repenting. Hey, you're going to be part of that stubble, which is fuel for that fire. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. Everything over here in the land of America is going to be destroyed. All right. And let me get this last precept, and I'll end out. 2 Peter 3:10, and it says, "A new heaven and earth." It says, "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise." All right, hey, the Lord is coming like a thief in the night to these people that are unaware. All right, hey, going to a parade of pride, not understanding what times when here it is, we're on the brink of World War III. All right, the MOTB is about to be implemented, and then you got people getting excited planning a fucking pride parade. All right, showing you the wickedness here. Okay, hey, but the Lord's getting ready to blow this bitch up. It says, in the which the heavens shall pass away with great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Hey, all the elements, that's a nuclear fire. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought you to be in all holy conversation and godliness? All right, going into what are you talking about? What's your conduct? All right, what are you hoping for? You know, what are you into? Seeing that these things are about to be destroyed, what are you into? Now, if you're into all that sodomy shit, you're into that pride, well, again, you're going to be fuel for the fire. All right? But the elect, what does it say? We're Lord's will, we're of that number. It says, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. All right. Now, again, you know, the elect are looking for and hasting, which means they're hurrying this along. All right. They're praying to the Lord, just like Lot, in that vexed spirit, you know, of seeing all this wickedness, that the Lord comes quick. All right. And then what? It says, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, which is a renewed earth. All right. That fire is a cleansing agent. It's going to clean up. It's going to clean this place up. All right. And then what? What's going to be established after that? The kingdom. All right. And that's where dwelleth righteousness. There's not going to be sodomites like that in the kingdom. All right. If these other nations want to commit sodomy, you know, these heathen, hey, they're going to be judged quick. All right. But again, it's, you know, that cancer is not going to be spread. There's not going to be no pride parades in the kingdom. All right. There's not going to be, you know, any type of pride, you know, pushed like that, pride and wickedness. Okay. But hey, Lord's will, you know, this was edifying once again. You know, hey, this place is going to be destroyed. Okay. And we can see why. All right. This is one of the many reasons, is that pride, that sodomy that's committed here. Okay. Again, you have a whole month committed to nastiness. All right. And it's beautiful, because the Lord had, when they were supposed to have that little parade out in Tel Aviv, it was canceled, because hey, them small hats getting bombed over there. All right. Hey, the Lord might just do something here. I think it's I'm sure. I think it's the end of June. You know. Hey, who knows? All right. Hey, but ultimately, hey, that thermonuclear fire is coming. All right. But again, once again, I want to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders at Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect, and above all.